Hey everyone, welcome to Professor Long's Lectures on Anatomy and Physiology. I'm Professor Bob Long, I'm your instructor this semester. If you're watching this video, you've probably already seen one of my introductory videos about the course. If not, as you guys know, we're in the coronavirus or COVID-19 shutdown. Many of our face-to-face courses have switched to online. I'm traditionally a face-to-face teacher, not an online guy. I'm not even a big proponent of online learning for sciences that include labs. But nonetheless, we're forced to do what we got to do. So the purpose of this video is for those students enrolled in my Human Anatomy and Physiology 2 course to get introduced to the learning management system called Canvas that we utilize to deliver all the material. So I'm going to be going over some stuff and projecting images. I'm going to try to sit out of the way of this screen here and project images and walk you through how to utilize the Canvas learning modules or the Canvas learning system so that you guys know where to find the information that you need to stay abreast of what's going on in the course and be ready for your exams. Also, one of the other videos that I'm doing is going to be going over the syllabus and the course materials. But since this is mostly about the laboratory, it's about lecture 2, but a large part of what I'm going to talk about is how to access some information for laboratory. Two of the things that you're going to need is you're going to need a laboratory manual. The one that we utilize is the Laboratory Manual for Anatomy and Physiology, 6th edition by Michael G. Wood. By the way, Mr. Wood is one of the instructors here at Del Mar College, so if anyone tells you we're a second-rate school because we're a community college, they're totally wrong. We have outstanding reputation in the city, in the state, in the region, the nation. And one of the #1 lab manuals published is published by one of our faculty members. Nonetheless, I'll be referring to page numbers in that. A second thing that you might need from one of our bookstores is our laboratory guide. It's the Anatomy and Physiology Laboratory Guide for 2402, Part 2 A and P. If you live nearby, then you can swing by one of the 2 bookstores and purchase one. If not, you'll have to look up Nebo, a bookstore in Corpus Christi, or the Del Mar College bookstore and purchase one and have them ship you one. We have our students buy these. They're $3. They don't cost very much. But it literally has a list of all the structures on both the slides and the models that we're going to show you in order for you to study and know what you're responsible for the exams. Normally what I'll do is I'll do a video of the models, of us going over the models and the structures you're responsible for so you know the anatomy that you need to learn. And I'll always have this next to me. I'll tell you, turn to page 18, we're going to go over this stuff. So make sure that you have one of these handy if possible, okay? So those are 2 things that you're going to need. Now, in order to get the material, you're going to need to go into Canvas. So when you sign up for courses at Del Mar College, one of the things that our IT department does is load you into a Canvas course. All instructors, all in classes, have a Canvas shell. Not everyone uses it. Even in my face-to-face courses, I use Canvas as a supplement to give students access to images and other things to study for the anatomy portion, or video lectures that help supplement what we've already covered. And that's what this video is going to be for. So if you stumbled across this in YouTube land and you are trying to find some information, this isn't going to be helpful to you. This is only for those students enrolled in my course. Okay? So anyway, it turns out that Canvas tends to play very well with Google Chrome. So if you get a chance, use that as your web browser. Open it up. And once you've done this once or twice, you'll see the Welcome to Del Mar College little Viking icon there. But if not, then go in and type in www.delmar.edu. And there's the college's homepage. One of the buttons at the top is the Canvas button. You can do a Canvas orientation. I highly recommend people watch that. It teaches you how to manipulate or operate Canvas. But that's also what I'm doing. You're going to go in here. You're going to type in your username. You're going to type in a password. If you don't know your username and password, there's a way to do that through the home page. IT can help you with that. Usually you use the email part of your name. For me, it's blong@delmar.edu, so I just use the blong. And then usually there's some ID number or some special code they give you to get in the first time, and then you can change your password. Now, once you log into Canvas, this is going to be your dashboard. This is what you're going to see when you log in. Okay? The school will very often have a lot of announcements up here for all the students. If you do not see, every one of these tiles here is your A&P courses. So I've got Anatomy and Physiology 1 from spring, A&P 2 from the spring, Lab Safety Training, and some other courses. Your course will look like this: Human Anatomy and Physiology 2 for Summer 1. Now, when you click, if you do not, first of all, if you don't see the course, one of the things that you need to do is go over here to Courses, click on it, and it'll list some classes. If you don't see this class, you need to click All Courses. It'll list all the courses that you've ever enrolled in at Del Mar, past and present, and even future. So classes don't start up for us for another week, but if you're enrolled in the course, you can get this information in advance. So now, the ones, if you notice, some of these have a little bright star and some of these have an empty star. The only ones that appear on your dashboard are the ones where the star is highlighted. So if you see your class here, but it's not on your dashboard, you go click on it, click on the star and highlight it, and then go back to your dashboard, and then the class will appear here. It's one of the first mistakes that happens for a lot of students. Now, when you go into the course, once it's on your dashboard, you click on it, and you'll see the home page here, Human Anatomy and Physiology 2. Now, while we're doing this, this is a week prior to the course, I have not actually completed the setup of the course that you're taking, so this is information copied from last semester. I just need to go in and update it and change some things. For example, it'll say Spring 2020. On the main page, on your home page here, you're always going to see the lecture test schedule and the syllabus. There'll be another video that I do going over the syllabus and testing. Once you're in this, where I'm going to be doing a lot of getting information to you and delivering information to you is under modules. The modules won't appear for you guys yet because I haven't published them. So this little blind eye here is telling me that students can't see it. So if you did log in early, that you don't see the modules, don't panic. I haven't published them yet. But I will do most of my communicating to you guys through two places: announcements and modules. If there's some kind of change to something and an announcement I need to make, like, hey, on this next exam, I forgot to tell y'all this, I will make an announcement. I'll click on this so that you can see what they look like, and the announcements will pop up here. For example, I put an announcement out about the rest of the semester schedule, or some information for my students about Test 6 and the final exam. So the announcements will always be available here. When you go to the home page, if I make a new announcement, this little area right here that says coming up is where the announcements will appear. Anything that you need to be doing in the future for the next week will all be listed down here, usually in blue. You can click on it, it'll take you directly to it. So all new announcements will appear here, as well as if you have a quiz or an assignment due, that will be there. Okay? So now that we got announcements out of the way, the other thing I wanted to show you is the modules. This is how I organize the material. For the modules, we'll have an introductory module where I'm going to introduce myself. There will be a video put in here for you guys to watch. How to manage Canvas, which is the video that you're watching, and I'll have another video on the syllabus and schedules. I may even include a quiz here that will not open the rest of the course unless you take the quiz that tells me you know how many exams we have, you've accessed the test dates and the required materials, and you know everything that's going on. Okay? So, once you're past that, I will do a module for lecture exam 1. Within each module, there will be videos of certain topics. Those videos will be videos of me at a marker board lecturing on the material. With each video, I will include a worksheet. Now, the worksheets are going to be derived from a note set. A note set is a set of notes that I publish for students to follow along with my lectures. And I will talk about the availability of the note set. I actually don't have one handy, or I would pull one out for you. But the worksheets will be basically the note set with a lot of blanks in it for you to go along and watch the lectures and fill in the blank and stay on top of the notes and the material. Whenever there's an exam, I'm going to have a review for an exam posted underneath this, and you can click on the review, download some information that you need to make sure that you're aware of, that you're studied, so that you can be ready for the exam. If there's any additional videos that aren't done by me that I find helpful, I will post them under the additional videos. For example, the sensory system has some videos that I think are really nice that supplement the information that I'm going to cover. The exams that I give will cover the lectures that I deliver through my videos and for my worksheets and note set. Okay? These are just in addition. Sometimes these videos go in a little bit more depth or detail, or a little less depth and detail, but they're usually pretty good supplements to what I've done to reinforce the material. We'll also have modules for our lab exams. I'll have some videos of the laboratory material that I've gone over. And then there will be some lab images. Now there's two ways to get the lab images. I'll usually have a link to the lab images here, but you won't be able to access them unless you enroll in what we call the Anatomy and Physiology resources page. I'll get to that in just a moment. But you'll see as you go through here, if you scroll down, I have modules for every one of our exams. The number of exams about lecture and lab, I will go over in a separate video when I go over the syllabus and the exams. But there's modules here that are built. I have not published them. If I click on these buttons over here, it will publish them so that you guys can see them. And I will only publish the modules as you need to see them, so that it's not too cluttered on here. So that's where you're going to access the lectures for both, or the videos for both lecture and lab, and a lot of the material for you to stay on top of. And always know when your exams are. By the way, while we're here, let me just state this. It's going to be important for you as a student to know when your exams are. All of the exams, both in lecture and lab, will be done online. For the lecture exams, there will be multiple choice tests, usually about 65 questions. They will be timed exams. I have a very large test bank that has hundreds of questions for each exam. When you log in, it will randomly pull 65 questions for you. The next student may get a totally different 65 questions. Some of the questions might be the same, some may not. And they will be scrambled, and the answers will be scrambled. We have to try to protect the integrity of the learning process to prevent cheating. We'll also use a thing called Lockdown Browser that will prevent you from looking things up, at least here. I'm contemplating using a webcam where it keeps your eyes locked on the screen. If you start looking away, looking down, or pick up a camera and take pictures of the test, it will notify me, and then you'll receive a 0 for cheating if I can demonstrate that you're cheating. So please don't take pictures of exam questions. Please don't help other people cheat and get information. You are all competing for the same programs, enrollment in our health science programs. And if you're giving other people answers, they may make a better grade than you. They get in, but the worst part is they're going to flunk out of that program. You have to know your anatomy and physiology backwards and forwards. You have to know it almost as well as I do in order to be successful in those programs. So cheating for yourself or for others is not going to help you. It's not about getting the grade. It's about learning the material so that you can be successful in your programs, pass your state boards, and be an excellent practitioner. Okay? But anyway, the laboratory exams will be as close to a true lab practical as we can get in face-to-face. When you go into the lab modules, there will be a link to a lot of lab images, and there will be videos of me lecturing over those images, pointing out, hey, this is the glabella, this is this structure, this is that structure, this is the aortic valve, or whatnot. And then the lab quiz will be like a practical. There will be a picture of the lab model. There will be an arrow pointed, and it will say ID the structure, ID the round thing, ID the artery, ID the vein, or ID the blood vessel. You'll have to type in on your keyboard the answer. What you will type in will come directly from this laboratory guide. If it is the aortic valve, then you'll have to type it exactly as it appears here. No capitals, same number of spaces and everything. So the computer grades it pretty strictly. I will go in and check certain answers, and we'll talk about lab exams when I cover the syllabus. Now, in order to get access to the images for the lab exams, I will have a link in the laboratory module to those images. But in order to get them, you'll have to do something else. So here's the last thing I want to show you. Well, a couple of things I want to show you. Almost everything I'm going to be doing and delivering will be under modules. The modules will be established, and the information will be there. You can always check grades when you click on the grades button, the grades will be listed. I see all the students enrolled in my class and I see their grades. You will not see anybody else's grades. You'll only have your grades available to you. And it's one way to follow throughout the semester. Now, again, I'm not a real savvy online person, so I'm learning to utilize the gradebook in Canvas, but I have a difficult time making the grades appear the way that I like. So I'm still learning the process. So in addition to having your grades listed there, one of the other things that I will do is use the Pages button. Under Pages, I have, when you click it, you're going to see this. You're going to see my home page, but there will be this button now that says View All Pages. Click on that, and all the pages that I have will appear. You're not going to see all of these pages. There's a lot of them. You only see the ones that have been published. I try to keep it clean and simple for you. And actually, the pages are there because we have to build pages in order to build the modules. So any pages I need you to see will usually be in the modules. And I'll even have one for exam grades. So I will post exam grades two different ways. One of them will automatically post under the grades tab over here. Because our gradebook is difficult to manipulate for me to add in extra credit or make a lot of corrections and move things around, I will often do things through the exam grades here. There'll usually be an announcement. Please read, hey, I added 2 points to everyone's test, or I made a mistake or whatnot. Okay. I will always post them under an Excel spreadsheet. When you click the Excel spreadsheet and you download it, you have to open it up. And every student will be given an ID number. That ID number that I give you will be a secret number that I actually assign to each student. How I'm going to deliver that, I'm not exactly sure yet, because I usually deliver these on the first day of class. But under your ID number, you can see your exam scores for all the semester and see what your grade average is. So this is a much neater, easier way for me to report your grades to you rather than using the Canvas gradebook. The Canvas gradebook is good, but if I wanted to add in extra credit like I did here and some bonus stuff, then I would have a hard time doing it in Canvas. So anyway, I'm going to close this out. So far, you need to be aware of announcements. Whenever I make announcements, it will be through the announcements page. You can click on it and see if there's any new ones. You'll use modules to access the information. You use grades for your gradebook, sort of. And then there'll be the quizzes button. I'll go back to pages in just a moment. All your quizzes will appear here. Every quiz will have a due date in which you must complete the quiz before that date or you don't get a grade. So again, let me make another quick point here. Every time I give a quiz, the quiz will actually be written in advance and will be published in advance, but you may not be able to access it. I can control the days and times that the quiz opens and closes, and that will be set up. There will be a due date under every quiz, and under the modules, part of the header will tell you your quiz will open Wednesday at 2 and close Friday at 2 or whatever times. You need to be aware of when the quizzes are available and when they are due. I will have the ability, and I exercise the ability to make the correct answers available for both lecture and lab exams. I will do that for a short window of time after everyone's completed the exam. That date is set in advance. Once the answers are published and people can see them, no one will be allowed to take the quiz. So please make sure you know your due dates on your quizzes, and you know how long it's going to take you to take the quiz. Usually they're an hour and 20 minutes for lecture, and usually about 45 minutes to an hour for lab. So if you log in, if the quiz is due at midnight and you log in at 11:15 p.m. on the due date, you're only going to have 45 minutes to complete it. That's on you, that's not on me. So please, I will have several times where I tell you, quizzes are open here from this day to this day. Here's the due date. Please make sure you complete them in the amount of time necessary, okay? Or the amount of time allotted. So that's where you will access your quizzes. Again, lecture exams will be multiple choice. Lab exams will be fill in the blank. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we do the video on the syllabus, okay? So announcements, modules, quizzes, and grades. And I was talking about pages. This is why pages is going to be important, and I want you to watch this video. When you click on pages, you'll have to click on view all pages. Some of the pages that will stay up will be exam reviews. Again, the reviews will be also posted in the modules, but a couple of them are not going to be posted there. Actually, one of them will be in the introductory module, the A&P resources and lab images link. If you click on this, you're going to have to enroll in the course. When you click this button, it will enroll you into a whole nother Canvas course. We do this in a certain way so that our students, and only our students, have access to the laboratory images that we use. So once you're done, it'll give you the option to go directly to the course or go to the dashboard. I'm going to go back to the dashboard to show you this. Now, once you do that, not only will your course be listed, but this Anatomy and Physiology Resources tab will be here. When you click on this, this is a whole nother Canvas course, but it's really no assignments, no quizzes, no nothing. It's just the images that you can study. So, all of our faculty pages are listed here. There's some videos that I did for some study tips and techniques to be good at anatomy and physiology. I highly recommend that people watch these about time management and how to prepare and study for this class. This was actually done rather impromptu. One of the instructors caught me in the hallway and said, let's do it now. So I did those videos in one take, but they're designed to help our students have the right attitude and know how to study for this course. We'll have models and slides for Part 1 A&P. That's not important to you guys. Then there's for Part 2 A&P. We have the answers to any of the review sheets and the practice things that are in the lab manual. I'm not going to use those very much. And then everything's set up for the 4 lab tests. For Lab Practical 1, if you click on this, it will open up access to the models and the images that we're going to be studying. For example, when we're studying the anterior view of the eye, if you click on this, there's a view of the eyeball, and we'll label all the structures, okay? Now, you can download this slide, you can print them, you can practice labeling them, you can do whatever it is that you need to do. I'm going to go back one screen, but these will be the pictures of the models that I use to teach you. I'll be standing either at the board or I'll have a video going where I go over all the anatomy of each model that you need to go over and study, and the structures are going to be in this laboratory guide. So you have access to images of every model that we're going to be testing on all semester. So please make sure that you download these images, you practice labeling them, and you learn your anatomy. The laboratory is going to be largely anatomy. The lecture will be where we cover a lot of the physiology, what's happening with the anatomical structures. So every lab test is going to have one of these, okay? That is the only reason that you need to be in this laboratory A&P Lab resources page, is in order to get the images that you need. Okay? So back to the dashboard. That was this page only for the models. Okay? Now, one last thing I want to show you, and students really like this and find this extremely helpful. Within the pages, there will be you got to go to view all pages. There will be a page that is my Quizlet page. And I believe these are all alphabetized. There's a Quizlet link for A&P reviews. This is my Quizlet page that I created. Click on this, and then this will enroll you in the course. If you click on that, it will sign you up for my Quizlet page. You can search me out on Quizlet, but this is the fastest, easiest way. Now, I'm already logged in. That's a picture of me in high school when I had long hair, when I had hair. And there's ways to view the material. So there's a way, one of the things when you log into my A&P 2 course, it should look something like this, okay? Now, there's a way to sort the information. When you first log in, a lot of time it will be sorted by the latest information entered. Then you got to go searching for all this information. So one of the things that I've tried to do is I've put numbers on things so that when you click on sort and alphabetical, it puts them in the order that I want you to see them. There's a lot of terminology. This is just extra stuff. I went in and put a whole bunch of terms in here, root words, prefixes, suffixes, from A to E, F to Z, O, and P to Z. If you're bored and you got nothing else to do, you should be practicing terminology. Anyway, and then we have some flashcards and things for Quizlet for you guys to study. So if you see a flashcard for the general census, if you flip the card over, it will list the general census. Oops, I went to a different card. Anyway, all the information that you're going to need to go over is going to be listed here for you guys to know what you need to know. One of the cool things that happens with the flashcards is you read the definition, specialized cell, that should be a sensory receptor. Oh, I didn't flip the card, my bad. So you can always turn the card over and you can see the answer, okay? Nociceptors or nociceptors detect pain. Go to the next card. What do thermoreceptors do? If you click the card, it will flip over. They monitor temperature, hot and cold. So we have flashcards set up for you. And Quizlet automatically does this. Now, one of the really cool things is you can click on test and it will set up practice tests for you. So you could go in and type in an answer, and I'm just going to type one in. And you can go through and answer all of them. When you're done, you can check your answers, and it'll tell you which ones you got right or wrong. So for example, question number 1, I typed general senses, and the answer was mechanoreceptors. So it'll tell you which ones you got right or wrong, and you can take practice quizzes as often as you like. Now, let me go back another page. One of the coolest things that my students use, sorry, I'm having some navigational issues here. Come on. Sorry, folks. So if I go back to my 2402 class, I don't know where I got lost in there, but I got lost somewhere. There's study sets for the lecture exams. Sorry. When you scroll down, one of the things that my students really like are these lab reviews. There's a lab review for all 4 lab tests. The lab reviews have all the flashcards, but when you click on the card, there will be pictures of the images that you can see what they look like. And one of the really cool things here is you can also click on test and set up a practice lab practical. And if you click on it, it'll say ID the pink structure, and there should be something highlighted in pink. Oh yeah, this pink layer should be the sclera. And I didn't type that correctly. You go to the next one, it says ID the endocrine organ. That looks like, I can't even tell what we're supposed to be looking at from here, but it looks like the thymic, I can't even tell. We'll do the next one. ID the structure labeled at number 3. Man, I can't even see these images from where I'm sitting. It's so bright in here. Anyway, you can go in and type in all your answers. You can go through all the cards, and at the end you can go check your answers, and it'll tell you which ones you got right or wrong. If you're 1 letter off, I would probably count it right, but nonetheless, you can go in and take as many practice lab tests through Quizlet as possible, okay? So there's a lot of good information on Quizlet, access to some practice exams, alrighty? So I'm gonna exit out of Quizlet. I'm gonna go back to the home page for my Canvas shell, and that pretty much is what I wanted to show you about how to manipulate Canvas and what's here. So let me run a quick review. When you log into Canvas, you're going to see your dashboard. You should have at least one class that shows up. If not, go to courses, see all courses, and highlight the little star, and this course will populate. When you go into this course, you're going to see my welcome introduction. You're going to see access to the syllabus and the testing schedule, so you know when your quizzes and exams are. If there's any announcements, they'll appear over here. If they're a new announcement, or you can always go click on announcement if you've already read it, if you need to remind yourself. Hey, I forgot what was in that announcement. Let me go look at it again. Click here, and the announcements will appear, okay? Now, also, You're going to access your grades. You're going to access the modules where all the information is. And then if you go into pages, there will be a link to my Quizlet page. So that's most of what you're going to use this for. Okay? I hope that this provided some useful information for you. I hope that you learned something. I hope you had as much fun as I did, although to me this isn't fun. Teaching the class is a lot of fun, and learning anatomy and physiology is super exciting to me, even after 20 years of doing it here at Del Mar. All right, I'll see you guys on the flip side of the next video. There'll be another video on the course schedule and the syllabus for the course. Make sure you watch that and you know what's expected of you. All right, we'll cover course materials, lab exams, and everything we can in that. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.